Upper Deck Entertainment and Konami Corporation welcome you to Madison Square Garden for the Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship 2003.
Announced on June 30th of 2003, the World Championship was an invitational tournament featuring 18 players from all around the world. The participants were all either national champions or top-ranking players on the game's official leaderboard, which kept track of player scores based on their performance at smaller tournaments. All 18 of these players had already proven that they were among the best in the world, so it goes without saying that this was, up to this point, the pinnacle of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Altogether, the deck lists submitted by the players paint a clear picture of the contemporary metagame. Control and Beatdown were the decks to look out for, and were the only decks represented at the World Championship. This was the perfect opportunity for Hand Control and those who believed in it to prove what it was really capable of by putting itself to the test against the deck that had defined the game for the past year and a half. To say that the Hand Control players were successful in doing this would be an understatement. Almost all of the Beatdown players at the tournament were eliminated during the first round, and those that did make it to round 2 were playing Beatdown Control hybrids. None of these players would go on to win a single match during the tournament's top 8, leaving Control as the only deck represented from the semifinals onward. There was no room left for doubt at this point. Beatdown had been completely obliterated, and Hand Control had taken its place as the new best deck in the game. Two of the top 4 players had built notably aggressive versions of the Hand Control deck. Yuin Lung from Hong Kong played 2 copies of Don Zalug and 3 copies of Drop Off, while Mike Rosenberg from the United States played 3 copies of Spirit Reaper and 2 copies of Drop Off. Both of these players were paired against each other during the semifinals, and in a written report of the event submitted to Pojo.com, Rosenberg explains that Lung was able to secure a clean 2-0 victory.
If I recall, it was pretty lopsided. I don't think I had a very good matchup against him, honestly. He was just a better player. I felt like I was pretty fortunate to get through as many single elimination matches as I did. And I like, it's really hard for me to recall what the details were. I do not recall having a close match against him.
After the semifinals, Rosenberg would play against Hui Tao-Soon, also from the United States, to determine who would come in 3rd place. The match that would determine the champion was between Yuin Lung and Shigeki Kitamura from Japan. The first 2 games were decided by Ring of Destruction. In both cases, it allowed the person playing it to push for immense damage all at once with just a single monster. Kitamura won the first game, and Lung won the second, though something worth mentioning about Game 2 is that it was extremely long because Fiberjar's effect resolved 4 times throughout it.
I just recall the 2 casters who were doing announcement for those who were like watching from the big screen in that tournament venue. You could hear them incrementally getting more tired as they talk about a Fiberjar flipping and basically resetting both of what these decks are trying to do. They were both Hand Control.